How's it going, everyone? It is Thursday, February 8th, 2024, and this is the video for today. So, as always, we are going to go over the market. We are going to go over the picks from the last video, and then we are going to give another pick for this video. So, let's start with the market. So today we know that on a longer term basis, we are still bullish, right? The market hasn't done anything to convince us that we are not bullish. It has gone up, up, up. We've had very minimal pullbacks. The technical backdrop is strong. The fundamental backdrop is also changing over here. Earnings are starting to improve across the board. We have inflation still coming down. We have the rate hikes at most likely their terminal rate, although the market has discounted when the rate cuts are going to happen. And that's been the main news driving the market. The economy is still strong. Unemployment is still low. ISM services is still good. So strong economy. Inflation is coming down. We also have AI and that news pushing up the market on very mega cap tech stocks and a lot of chip stocks as well. So I believe a strong macro backdrop, in my opinion. Now, if we look at the shorter term context over here, we see that we had a pretty nice run up and rally into these mega cap tech earnings. We had a pullback from the FOMC, and then we made a new all-time high. Yesterday, we made a new all-time high again, and we are holding those gains. So I'm going to go into an H1 chart here. You can see just a long compression at the high. Let's zoom in a little bit more again. And you can see that after this gap up and this move higher, we have been chopping around, not going anywhere, and we are at a equilibrium temporarily. So there's two ways to look at this. The first is that, hey, the market has made a nice run, and there's no upward catalyst to move us forward, really. There is CPI and PPI coming out, which could have some move next week. I think the impact of CPI has come down a lot since 2022 and 2023, but it's still, some market moving component. If we get a very cool number, I believe that will be a very positive catalyst. So if we get something under 3, then I think that'll be very, very bullish. The other aspect is technically we've had a really nice run and we're pretty close to 500, right? And that's a big psychological resistance point, or 5,000 on SPX. So my shorter term bias is right now I'm very cautiously bullish and I'm watching for any signs of a potential pullback, right? I don't want to be swinging a bunch of stocks after a giant move. I'd rather wait for a dip and then get a better entry point on my swing. So once we have strength and established support after that dip. So with this context, I'm looking for day trades and shorter term swing positions. Overnight swings, 1 or 2 day swings. Based on that time horizon, right? If you were trading options, I believe that debit spreads are the way to go to take advantage of shorter term moves and mitigate your downside risk. You can also do, again, I'm trading one share, so, that's not really a huge factor there. But that's kind of, the market backdrop here. Shorter term swings and erring on the side of patience, right? This is a sideways move in the market. If we zoom in on what's happening today, you can see that there's just a whole bunch of mixed overlapping candles and we're not going anywhere. The volume is absolutely pitiful and we're just chopping around in this very tight range over here. We're going to break out one way or the other. We've had a lot of failed breakouts here. So when we break out, we'll get a really nice move in either direction. But until we do that, there's not a lot of point trading. I would be short-term trading, very, very strong stocks with passive targets and small size. This is not a high probability trading environment, so you don't want to be in a lot of trades, right? You want to be in the best of the best. You can also balance out the sides on a shorter term basis, in my opinion. There are some good shorts coming up on our scanners with good daily charts and also good intraday charts. So that will give you some more shorting conviction. So that's kind of the bias. To summarize it all up, longer term, we are still very, very bullish. On the shorter term, we are cautiously bullish, watching for that pullback. This means we are trading very short-term trades, and we are putting on put credit spreads to distance ourselves from the action. All right, so let's look at the pick yesterday, which was Pan W. So Pan W was one that I took yesterday, and I took it on this LRSI cross here at 364.70. And to come down, had to work off a little bit more supply, and then we came back, closed near the high of the day. In the morning, we broke up, and what did I say on Pan W? I said, because it's a short-term trade, I'm not going for a full ATR move. I'm going for a half move of $5. So I set a target at 370. I got my fill at 370. You see it went a little bit higher, almost 372, but you're not going to pick the whole part of the trade. I got a really nice chunk of this move from here to here. Took my profits. You can see here now it's sold off, and it's chopping around a little bit here. Doesn't have a ton of strength. It's still good. It can still go up, but I took my profits on an overnight trade, and I was very happy. So if you follow the same guidelines for Pan W, you're able to make money even though the market did absolutely nothing. So Pan W, nice win in our book, and I am going to add it to my wins over here. All right. I'm also going to review the other trades that I took and I'm in. So before we do that, let's quick look at SMCI. You can see here it broke through the 700 level after this pullback. Still going strong, right? You entered here, pullback here, deep pullback here. So, you get an opportunity to get out here, another opportunity to get out here. You could still stay in it. So the stock still looks good. The market still looks fine, but Pan W, SMCI, it's had a big run, and we know that we're giving a short-term duration. So take the full profits, right? Take full ATR profits in this stock. That's pretty good considering the market has been doing absolutely nothing. That's all that stock strength working in your favor. You can probably exit off this HA reversal here. All right. We were also in Ally. Ally, nice move, had an analyst upgrade, nice move up, sold off to the gap here and has been recovering pretty steadily. So it's inching up here right around its A VWAP E. Still intact on the daily chart, so you can still lean on that. Hasn't broken through its major support level over here. Plenty of time on Ally. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the positions that I'm in, starting with Costco. So I entered Costco yesterday. Let's pull up the chart. Cost had a really nice D1 chart. Entered on this. Let's go back over here. This compression break to the high of the day. Pulled back decently here below VWAP, which I didn't like. Oh, got to get rid of Amgen pretty soon. Which I didn't like, but I had a passive target, half ATR, $5, 728. Hit that target, and I ended up picking a top here by accident. You can see here now Costco had a pretty deep retracement, and it's making another run. The volume is kind of dying off here. So Costco was a nice win overnight as well. And, we were able to take some nice profits there. So taking these nice overnight moves on these strong stocks. Okay, so one trade I took here earlier was Amgen, AMGN. So I took this short here because I like the price. The price actions in SPY told me I could short very strong stocks, very weak stocks for a day trade. And this is a pretty good example of when to take the loss on a stock. So let's look at the setup over here for Amgen. You can see that we had a nice move down, and let's look at the D1 first. It's been selling off super, super hard post-earnings, really weak, bearish post-earnings reaction, broke through the SMA today. Erased all of these gains, so I really like the bearish chart on Amgen. We had nice momentum early in the morning. If we put in the SPY overlay, we can see as the market was doing nothing, Amgen was weak. When as soon as we got a little bit of tailwind, we started to go down. We pulled back to VWAP here, and we were chopping around while the market was moving up. So I really liked the relative weakness that Amgen was showing. Now, here's the kicker. So I entered somewhere around here off this LRSI alert. This was the setup that I had. We had an LRSI cross, we had an HC reversal, a bounce off of VWAP, good volume throughout the day, good, pretty bearish price action. I didn't like these two stacked green candles here, but I did like the quick response off of VWAP and the fact that this was preserved. So I really like that in Amgen here. So I took the short here. You can see that it held around and then it pushed back up higher, and we got this break to a new high. All right, so that is what I did not like. I did not like we had to break through a new high, but I did have the SMA to lean on over here. So we're at the SMA here, and we're just waffling around the SMA this whole time. On a chop day, I knew I had to be patient. I didn't think Amgen was going to be a win, so I'm looking to take the best possible loss. So it broke down this compression over here, all right. I did not average down on the trade because I wanted to see continuation, and I was looking to scratch out of my entry over here. Chopped around a little bit, and now it's starting to move higher. So it is still fairly weak on the day, but I don't like how it's above VWAP. I don't like how it's challenging this upper bound here. It could not produce on this LRSI cross, so you can see how we have this bullish channel coming into play over here, and it's finding support on this channel. And where did I short? I shorted near the bottom end of the bullish channel rather than shorting to the top end. Now, I wouldn't short a bullish channel, but this goes to show you just how, okay, I had the setup. I know where to take the loss when we confirm and make a new high back above this SMA. I'm out of the trade, and I take the small loss on the stock. I don't want to hold this overnight, especially if we're going to close close above the SMA. And it's a short, so I don't want to do anything more than day trade this. I'm going to take the loss if we get a close above here. So we're going to keep an eye on Amgen. We're going to check this bar in the next second. So that's some of the trades I took today. The other trades that I'm in are Meta. Meta has been chopping around over here. Pretty flat, digesting some of the gains. We have a put credit spread here that's still working quite nicely. I have a one share swing looking to target some of the top end of that range here. I have a VFC time spread that is still open. VFC, I'm ready for it to move up back into the range, trying to take a scratch on this trade if I can. I have a Netflix put credit spread, which is doing exactly what it needs to do, which is absolutely nothing. My Zoom credit spread here, which will probably be a full loss. I am just waiting for the expiration to happen over here. But Zoom will most likely be a full loss. It's finding support somewhere around this level. But it's, I mean, it would have to be, it basically need a miracle for it to be good, in my opinion. And finally, I have my one share SPY swing from way back when that I peeled off somewhere before earnings, and I'm waiting for a dip to re-enter on this SPY swing. Other than that, I'm just going to ride it out and see how it does. But since it's a smaller size, we know we can do, we can kind of withstand more noise here. So a couple of stocks that I liked early in the morning that did not pan out. The first one was Roku. You can see here it did make above its prior day high. So moved above its prior day high here, and I liked it, and I was waiting for a pullback. The pullback was deeper than I wanted, so did not enter Roku, and I skipped this one. Shop was super nice this morning. I was like, all right, great. Let me wait for a pullback. Here's a move down. I mean, a lot of these gains are completely erased. I mean, it's not going anywhere. So we want to see it get above VWAP and break out of these gains. It is a choppy stock, but I mean, this tells me that this move here ran up too fast. So don't want to be chasing a stock like Shop. AVGO, very nice early in the day. Pulling back a little bit here. This is a pretty weak pullback in my opinion. So if we get any sort of move to the downside, then I would enter AVGO on a pullback like that. But the stock is still really nice here on the intraday chart. You can see maybe it's coming up a little bit against this trend line, but I think a CDS on AVGO would still work if you wanted to do something overnight. Chip stocks were pretty strong. Let's take a look at MSTR earlier today, which does not have an apostrophe. Nice move here. You see it's slowly grinding higher. You want to buy it on these dips here, and then you can get a nice entry point. What I liked about MSTR was it broke through this compression through a VWAP E and the 50 SMA after a nice post-earnings move. We have all the SMAs below it. We know that chip stocks, or sorry, this is a crypto stock, so had it sell off here. It's gaining some support. LRSI is rising up. We have good volume on it. Not the strongest daily chart, but it's not out of the gate. You're not chasing this stock, which is a very, very nice feeling. So that's one I liked quite a bit. I do like I've been using the Green Royal Flush, and I always set alerts on Green Royal Flush. You can see a lot of the stocks that I called out here are in this search. So if I had to give a pick for the day, this would be a short-term overnight swing. There's a couple that are coming to mind. So let's take a quick look on the LRSI front. Let's see what stocks are doing very nicely on the LRSI. And you can quickly find going very strong, high-quality D1 charts. DKNG is nice. AXP is grinding up higher. Now is doing pretty well. You can see it's breaking out of this compression. FSLY was nice. You can see how it rejected off my D1 horizontal support around this level. So we know that there is, resistance at this level. We know that there is a resistance there. Same thing with WIN coming up to some resistance. CRM, nice steady grinder. We have a month before earnings. So CRM is one that I would feel pretty comfortable taking a swing on. You can see it's breaking out of that support here. Pretty choppy. It came back, tested the support level, which I liked. And now we have a nice strong reaction here. Pretty good volume, and we're above VWAP. So intraday chart is not amazing, but I do like the daily chart on here. Let's take a couple of other ones. Dash continues. It's a little bit overextended in my opinion. I don't want to be chasing it, and we have earnings, so you would get trapped in here. So we want a stock that is pretty steady and is not too far out of the gate. That's kind of what we want stock-wise. So there's a couple I'm looking at over here. Macy's is a nice for a day trade. And let's just have our M5 chart on SPY up. So you can see here how it's, again, SPY is testing this range on both sides and unable to break out. Let's look at AMGN. Yeah, we made a new high here, so I'm going to have to take the loss on this stock, on this short. So let me take this loss here. And let's modify this to 93.82. All right, so that'll fill. We can get a better price. There we go. Okay. So took the loss on Amgen, $3. Happens, you know, just take the loss. You move on. I had a great entry. I had a good stock. I had a good pick. But the SMA acted as a magnet, and we were not able to break free of it. So get out of the trade, and we just move on to fight another day. So let's take a look at some other stocks while we're here. AEO has some room to clear. So we do need to, we need to set an alert on this line. So if it can break through that line, then we're pretty interested in getting in on AEO. Let's check the earnings. Yeah, we have some time before earnings. There's a lot of nice stocks on Green Royal Flush. GE is a really nice grinder. So in my opinion, I kind of want to take some small profits on a grinder. A stock that is fairly agnostic to all these market dips, right? We know that it's steady buying. It doesn't get ahead of itself, and it continues to just churn and churn and churn and churn up. So GE is a nice churner. We already called out. Where was it? Where was another nice churner? QCOM was one that was called out earlier today. Nice. It's a little bullish flag here. Filled in the gap post earnings. Has some room to this post earnings gap right here. So I do like Qualcomm. Qualcomm is pretty nice. The volume isn't great, but it has held all of these gains today, digesting the move. I wouldn't mind entering off this LRSI pullback on the bottom of this compression. QCOM is nice. MSTR is nice. Yeah, there's a lot of nice ones here. So we're gonna have to make our own custom search. And find some strong stocks here. So let's take a pretty wide net, and we're going to reel this in. Stock price of 10. We're going to have no ETF. So this is what you got to do to find a pretty nice stock over here. Relative strength to market. So let's find this. Let's see a stock that is above its prior day high. Okay. And let's see, I want to see a stock that is above all of its SMAs. Okay, so all these are, which is good. We have relative strength to the market. Let's see that it has a bullish LRSI cross. Okay, so there's a couple of these here. So we're getting a pretty good list. And let's see, it already had earnings. So let's see, had earnings in the past 20 days. Okay, so a lot of these did. Let's see what stocks have some good volume today. This is a pretty good filter. So let's scan that. All right, so we got a couple of ones over here. Let's take a look at these. ALPN. That's pretty nice, but we have trend line in the way. APO, earnings volatility. Aries, earnings volatility. AZEC, nice earnings breakout. HMC, too choppy. KKR is pretty nice. Little extended. Manu is too newsy. MGNX is beautiful. I think I saw this a couple of videos ago. It's just a steady grinder. MGNX is really nice. A little overextended. Oscar just had earnings, so you want to let that digest. PSX hasn't done anything. Road has earnings coming up. STLA, too choppy. Or too gappy, sorry. TXRH, not bad actually. Consumer cyclical. Texas Roadhouse. Dining. Decent volume. Earnings 215. You don't have a lot of time, but it's going to be a shorter term trade duration. Steadily grinding up today. Nice breakout and follow through. I would like it here. It is slightly extended here. So it may pull back and move up a little bit. We can't quite risk the pullback. Texas Roadhouse is like almost what I want. Like if let me go back here for an important stake. If we got Texas Roadhouse here, ideal long. I would take this long, definitely. Nice volume on the breakout. We've finished the pullback and we're surging higher. We are 1 day late, and because timing is such an issue for us, we do not want to be chasing. Ulta is really nice here. We have some time before earnings. Strong post earnings move, gapped up, moved up higher. It's pretty choppy. It doesn't quite always continue, but this is a pretty nice continuation here. Let's look at this. I see. Okay, so volume isn't great. You can see it might have made a nice move higher, digested the gains, started to grind up higher, digested the gains. Ulta is one you can maybe day trade. I don't like this huge move at this level. This tells you that there's some resistance intraday. So Ulta looks good on the D1, but intraday gives a little bit more of a clue to this. We have XPO. Okay. So interesting. Oops. I didn't actually even put that in here. Okay. Let's do earnings date projected in 25 days. Let's see if this gives us some different ones. Road, nothing really here. All right. So these are all the ones that are moving today on volume. If I had to pick one, I really like MGNX. It's also biotech, so we have some resistance here to SPY. Let's take a look at the intraday charts, see what that looks like here. So it looks like this is a stock that moves up, compresses, moves up, compresses, moves up, compresses. So you don't want to chase these moves up for sure. It's also made a really big run, so I'm a little bit hesitant. But I do see some potential here. The other one that I have is GE. I didn't like this huge move down to fill in the gap here on GE. Intraday is not as nice. It's just tough. It seems like there's so many stocks that like it could work, but we can't settle for stocks that could work. We have to go for stocks that will work. GE is a steady grinder. Let's go to Popple. See if there's anything on Popple. Immunogen. This might be earnings pops. So let's skip some of these earnings pops over here. That has earnings coming up. Trend line in the way. You can see how hard it is to find some great ones. ZS, okay, moving up a little bit here. We have some time for earnings, breaking out of the compression. Not a ton of volume. Not a ton of volume, but still pretty decent. I do want something with some volume. Let's look at Carvana. Carvana's not bad. Long compression here, formed a base, broke out here. Earnings in 2 weeks. Been picking up volume. Compressed, move up higher, compressed. This is pretty nice price action on the short term. This is a pretty nice price action. We have this trend line in the way here. This is a pretty major trend line. Let's see where this dates back to. Okay, so it dates back all the way over here. And you can see how it also there's found support kind of on this trend line over here as well. D1 is a little bit weak, but I like this recent relative strength here on good volume as well. Not too extended. Will Carvana be my pick? I don't know. I like it. I do very much like it. I think that, let's see. Let's look at all our ones here. QCOM. And let me also put MSTR in here. MSTR. If I look at MSTR, look at Carvana. Those are probably my top 2 picks, these compression breaks. Here's how I weigh it out. Carvana's closer to, the upside is limited, not the best RR. But it's a little bit, it's not as newsy as MSTR. MSTR does have support here at the 50 SMA. That's about 550. So you have $30 of support. So about 1 ATR of room to support. You also have some room to this resistance. If I put one, let's say, right, looks like there could be some resistance somewhere here. I don't know if it's quite hit that. It is rubbing up against it a little bit. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. But, you know, my reputation is on the line here. But I have to pick one. And none of these are looking good. So, see what has good relative strength. This is my final check. See if there's any stocks that have, these are probably just post-earnings ones. Not a ton of stocks will have relative strength. Ross had a nice breakout today. OKM5. HIMS. Yeah, retail has been pretty strong today. I am going to pick Carvana. That will be my pick today. So for Carvana, I want to get like a $1.50 move on the stock. So somewhere like 53, let's call it 53.80. Maybe even less. Yeah, we have some room if we look at another day here. Probably like 55. So if we can go for like $54 on the stock, then that would be excellent. So Carvana will be my pick for today. We could look how SPY, and I'd probably enter seeing if SPY can break out of this range. We've been testing it a couple times here. We're getting some candles. We're getting some at least some steady colors. So we might see some buyers getting engaged here. So Carvana is going to be my pick of the day. You know it has compressions and dips, so I would buy, at these LRSI pullbacks over here and get a nice entry price on this stock. So that is the pick for this video. I hope it was very, very helpful, and we will evaluate this pick in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching.